blows parents away. And I wish I had known that that's normal. They're processing things now. They've accepted it when they were children. Whatever you taught them, they accepted. But now they're thinking, is this really true? And so normally we say they're argumentative. That's the way we see it, argumentative.
Yeah.
But if we understood that they're developing logical thought, we would cooperate with that rather than trying to say, well, you know better than that. Now don't talk about that. You know, we stop the flow and we lose the influence. So we have to learn how to receive their questions and ask them. Now that's an interesting perspective. What made you think that? Engagement conversation. Now we're helping them develop logical thought rather than stopping the flow. I wish I'd known that.
Yeah,
we'd have less arguments.
I mean, that's wisdom. Yeah. I mean, one of the things we wrote in our No Perfect Parents book was the teenage years are the live in the question years.
Yeah.
And like you said, not always telling them, but asking and drawing them out. I remember, maybe you're familiar with Shanta Feldhahn wrote a book called For Parents Only. And it was really research from teenagers and parents. One of the things she said was just what you said is like, when they're small, you sort of give them building blocks of what you believe and what life is about, and it's like you're building this castle with them. And it's like, we believe in God. Okay, we go to church. We are people of character. They have all these blocks. She said when they hit teenage years, they'll pick up each block. And they'll sort of look at it like, I don't know if I believe in God. And most of the time, we as parents just freak out. Like, oh my goodness, you're saying that's normal and we should just draw that out?
Absolutely. And lead them to things outside yourself. Because they know what you think, and they've been listening to you all these years.
Yes,
so if they're questioning spiritual things, for example, you say, well, that's an interesting thought, you know? And I know there are people who actually believe that. So why don't we study that a little bit? You know, why don't we read some stuff? What do we see, you know? And like if they're thinking, well, you know, why is Christianity the only religion? You know, I mean, there's other people who are good people, and, you know, okay, well, let's look at their beliefs. You know, let's study their beliefs. And so you just walk them through, you know, because they've got to make it their own. They've got to make Christianity their own. It's not, you can't just give it to them.
I think Dave really welcomed that when our kids were asking questions. I tended to freak out a little bit more, like, oh no, what's happening? And what you're saying is it's really normal. And it's probably a good thing for them to question, because what it can do is open the door of conversation with parents. And so by asking the question, I love what you said, tell me more. Tell me, what are you thinking about with that? And even Dave used to say, that is a great question. I've dealt with that myself over the years. So it does open the door to conversations.
Absolutely. But I think so many parents, when they don't realize that this is normal, what's happening is normal, they do become defensive. They say, now, you know, we've taught you that all these years. Now, you know that's not, you know that's wrong.